Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, I have drowned my sourdough starter. I didn't know if it was possible, I don't know if it's an actual thing, but this is my current sourdough starter. If you saw my first couple of videos, you would see that I wanted to make my sourdough starter and document the progress each day. I then became sick, you can probably tell by my voice. I'm still a little bit sick, but I'm definitely on the mend and definitely getting better. But yeah. And to be completely honest, I haven't even fed this for the last 2 days too. I am going to just completely chuck it out, clean out the jar. But we are going to make a brand new one today. So we are on a date. The last day I recorded was 8. I didn't record yesterday and now we're on day 10. So as you can see with the sourdough starter up at the top here, I got up to day 5. That is how high that this sourdough starter had risen. And then on day 6 is when I killed it. So what happened on day 6 was just pretty much I was sick. That was when I first got sick, my head was sore. Nick did offer to do it for me, but I just wanted to do it. It was the only thing I'd done all day. Nick's been doing everything else. And how I have my glasses, I will put water into one glass and then I'll weigh out 50 grams in the other. So then I had the excess water in one. Instead of tipping the 50-gram glass jar of water in, I tipped in the excess glass with the water. So it was definitely way too much. The days between 6 and 8, I tried just to add flour. But although it did get a little bubbly, it just was not it. I got the consistency back to normal and it just wasn't rising. I don't know, maybe that's supposed to be normal coming on those days. Maybe the rising is kind of less. But we're not that far into it. I never documented every day like my original plan was going to because of how unwell I became. Which it was just a flu, by the way. So, yeah, we're going to say goodbye to this short-lived starter that I accidentally drowned. Who knew that was a thing? But that happens. Okay. So, I do have a new jar, but before we start this, I do want to get a couple of things on and cooking for me, so then while I'm in the kitchen getting our new fresh starter done, other things can be happening. Okay, this isn't perfect, but this is the best that we've gotten so far. I'm still playing around with getting my camera situated and different angles, yada yada yada. Anyway, oh yeah, and I'm just in my pajamas because, you know, sick, cozy, comfy. I'm just home. But one thing I want to get started on is my dinner. So it's Swedish meatballs, mash and green beans that I cooked earlier this month. And we had as freezer meals. So absolutely delicious. And everything homemade. So it is still frozen, which sucks. But that's okay. All we're going to do is pop on some foil and chuck it in the oven till I remember about it. No, because it's still frozen, probably about 40 minutes. I'll pop the timer on for 40 minutes so I don't forget, and then we'll come back and check. But I just wanted to get this in now, just so it's quicker. So yeah, this week's definitely been handy with one Nick cooking meals since I've been not doing anything, and also having our freezer meals has definitely been handy too. I wonder, do I push this up further maybe? That looks nicer. But then if I go further, then my head's chopped off. I don't know. But now what I want to do is, we're going to push this out of the way. I don't know, I'm just trying to get this all done. But now what I want to do is start some chicken bone broth because, again, Nick cooked some chicken soup for me and for himself too, of course. And that we used the last of our canned chicken bone broth. So we can just go. If you have a little peep in my freezer, which I do want to do, it's been requested a bunch. This is our freezer. It's a little bit full, definitely a bit messy, and things are along. Like this is what I need, but it's not supposed to be in that freezer, but it is, but that's okay. So yeah, it's been requested to do a freezer tour instead of tour, I'm doing a freezer clean out video soon. And we need these. And another thing we need, we're just being reorganizing, everything. That slow cooker. Whoop. So I'm just gonna wipe the lid off with just our tea towel. That's fine, it's not too bad. I always keep paper towel inside of my cookies and stuff, just, I don't know, to prevent possible moisture. What's in this bag, this is the bag that I got from the freezer, is just a chicken carcass and just some random chicken bones that we had used. So the bones and the meat and the leftover whatever bits is all cooked. So that is all cooked, so it's perfectly fine to pop it in from frozen. This bag is chicken thighs, which was raw chicken thighs, bone in, skin on, that I took the meat off yesterday. That took me a whole day to do that. So I took off the meat off these chicken thighs, bones yesterday, and because they were raw, I wanted to roast the bones. So all I done was a little bit of salt and pepper and roasted the bones. Yeah, and then this is our frozen chickus with, yeah. So that is fun. We're now going to top this up with some cold water. Alright, so we got it completely full with water. As you can see, the water line's right at the top here. And also this is the roast chicken carcass that Nick made again earlier this week. Looks like carrot or something he's shoved up there. So that's fine, that's just going to give us extra nutrients into the broth. If I did have a bag of veggie scraps, I'll add that as well, but I don't. But that's okay. And if you have seen me, all I'm going to do is just chuck it on low, and we're just going to let this sit. If you did see my previous videos, I've done this I think 2 or 3 times now. I've made 24-hour chicken bone broth. So I would leave this slow cooker on low for 24 hours straight, and then we would make broth. But I think that's too deep in flavour for myself personally, for mine and Nick's taste. So I don't know how long we're going to let this go for. I don't know if it's going to be 8 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours. I'm not too sure, but I do think 24 hours is too much for myself. Mainly myself, I believe. Definitely a popular thing to do. Definitely great to do. But yeah, just for my own taste buds. And we've used everything. We just finished the last 3. And we just used the last 3 cans. Well, Nick used the last 3 cans of the chicken 24-hour bone broth. So we did use it up. It wasn't bad. It's just, I think I would prefer a lesser depth of flavour, if that makes sense. More traditional stock than like the really deep stock. So, I don't know. But this is now a project for tomorrow. I'm going to just push this back. Oh. So, at least we now have a project for tomorrow, because this will be done. I don't want pressure on the cord. Oh, that's the worst thing about the slow cooker, is this cord sticks out so much from behind, but that's okay. Yeah, we'll just let that go and we'll come to it tomorrow. And what is the time now actually? It's 3:12, so just say 3:10 I popped it on. Let's just say 3 o'clock I popped it on, and we'll see when I turn it off. Alright, back to square one and starting with an empty jar. Still keeping the time roughly the same though, so that is fine and all good. I have been practicing just trying to pour it all in the one jar. So this is starting the starter as well. So the jar will tear up. We want 50 grams of flour and 50 grams of water. This flour is a plain unbleached whole wheat flour. And here I am with my mess already. I swear the few days where I did do this not on camera, hardly any mess. And I was like more sick. But you know, that's okay. There we go. So a big part of me as well, I was thinking of starting a new one, continuing this one that I'm pretty certain I did drown. and just to see the difference, see if we can bring this one back to life, see if it is okay. But the last 2 days I just had zero energy. I've lost hope. I did lose hope with this poor guy here. We still got him. Once I finish his starter and we can compare. I don't know what we're gonna compare, but before we'll compare, and then yeah, I'll get rid of him. Alright, so my scale I'm just going to tear again so it's down to 0. I took the temperature for this. We are at 32 degrees Celsius, which is perfect. We want between 30 and 35 degrees Celsius ideally. And 50 grams. So this is risky because I don't have the skill to stop it when I'm supposed to. But we got bang on 50 grams. Okay, so this is what I went wrong last time with this starter. Is I poured my 50 grams into a separate glass, but when mixing it in my starter, I use this excess amount of water rather than the jar or the glass that had the 50 grams in. But that's okay. So we're just gonna mix the flour and water, and that is it. That's all we gotta do. We're back to day 1, and we're actually going away soon. I'm not gonna say when, but we are going away soon, and I'm really hoping that this will then become mature so we can have it in the fridge for a couple of days. Either that, or when my dad comes over to like feed the cats, I want you to teach him how to feed my starter as well. You just want to make sure that all of the flour is hydrated in the inside. You don't have any clumps of dry flour. And then that is it.
I don't know how this is comfortable. It's literally off my arm, see? Yeah, I'll pick it up. So just that's the fuck out of my arm. It's not the lightest cat in the world.
He's a chunky monkey. And now all I'm going to do is just kind of shake it just so I can see the level. It is a little mucky because I just mixed it in the jar, but you can see where it's sitting. And then again, just a lid. I'm not putting a ring on. You don't want it to be too tight or anything like that. I'm just going to let this sit, and we'll come back every day about 3 o'clock to give it a feed. I mean, I suppose one thing we can compare is, so this is the starter I just made, which is just thick, and the starter that is, what, now 10 days old, but it's also got drowned and been starving for the last 48 hours. But you can just see like the consistency is a whole lot more movable, and it just kind of slides down from the jar. But yeah. So unfortunately this one, we're saying goodbye, but we got this one now to work on. Alright, so that's pretty much everything for this video. So we've started our fresh starter. We got some chicken bone broth on. I got some chicken bones out of our fridge and freezer into the pot to make some bone broth, and I just got my freezer meal heating up. But I love the freezer meal concept, and I do want to do a freezer meal cooking day. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've done that. Nick's done a couple of big batches of curry. But next week, when I'm probably better, we'll probably do some freezer meal cooking too, which will just be fun. I'll insert a clip as well on what my dinner looks like when it comes out the oven, but for now I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which is tomorrow for me and a couple of days for you. Bye!